All right, y'all. Today we're looking at this boudoir photography business, and for its local searches, city searches, we're going to see if it has BSS. So we're back here in the GBC universe. We're taking declining boudoir photographers to becoming the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. Our North Star, as always, is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pinned post, pinned video. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our here in white, we got our intent spectrum here. High intent on the left, low intent on the right. And if the boudoir photographer is rising, they're usually bringing in all peeps from this entire intent spectrum, kind of all these cohorts. But if a boudoir photography business is falling, then they are missing some one or many cohorts here on this entire spectrum. So over on the left, which we talk about here, BSS focuses on the highest intent people. Google search, social search, those searching for boudoir photo shoots like ASAP right now in their city right now. Over on the right, that's where you focus on like the lowest intent people in our city, and that's why their sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor. And right now, we only focus on working with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month in boudoir Facebook ads over there. So that's what we got. Now, boudoir search sameness BSS is when a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And 0 slots means they're on page 2 or deeper, or effectively invisible. Because we know that approximately 80% of all Google searches never even hit page 2. They're page 1 only searches. And we care about these 80% because these peeps are, that's the bulk of the market, the approximately 80%. So most of the market, that's the bulk. And if we're invisible to them, that's killing our business. Also, 1 slot on page 1, also not good enough. It's not good enough because, there's 10 organic slots on page 1 of Google. And if we're missing 9, or if there's 9 of the boudoir photographers on page 1, then, then basically we're looking the same as everyone else. We're not standing out. And a buyer's just going to, click on everyone's link going down, contact everyone, price shop everyone, and literally, we're going to be price shopped to death, compared to death. Now, 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google is not normal. It's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Now, 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google, extremely common, but not normal. That means like we got big. It's not normal to have so few page 1 links on Google as a boudoir photographer. Either 0 or 1. Yeah, we got some big issues then if that's happening. And so market saturation, basically everyone knows about this one. This is when it seems like every week a new boudoir. It seems like someone's getting a new iPhone, they're throwing up their Google My Business profile, send that the National Boudoir, or um, and they got their website saying they're a boudoir photographer, and so they are, increasing the competition for the keywords on page 1, and increasing that competition, maybe kicking us off. And also, if someone gets, like a new camera now, they're posting the mom groups on Facebook saying that they have for boudoir photo shoots. And so that's market saturation. Also, big market saturation happened when COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, but people still turned money somehow. And look, everyone's got a phone with a great camera, so kind of natural that a ton more people become, new boudoir photographers or offer boudoir photo shoot services. Now, the thing that most people don't know about is the false belief of page 1 equality, but more and more people are coming to know about it every day. So this is where, it's kind of auto-accepted by boudoir photographers, like, hey, every boudoir photographer basically gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. And yeah, maybe my website was ranked on page 1, and and maybe market got a little saturated, we got pushed to page 2, and well, that's simply how it is. We are that's normal. And yeah, hopefully they delete their website so Google can re-rank us up on top or get us back on page 1. But that's not normal. Google will actually give us as many links on page 1 as we want to take, as we want to put in the effort to take. So it's basically like we're falsely believing, basically everyone gets 0 1 slots on page 1. No, that's incorrect. I know it's incorrect. So I went from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google in 10 days. Because I wouldn't put in the effort to take as many slots as I want, and Google does give that. Google does give those links to people. Next, we also know that a boudoir photographer with BSS boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer, DBP. So we're building up our universe here on the left. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the 2 horns of market saturation and page 1 equality. Thankfully, we now finally have a solution to boudoir search sameness, and that is social search saturation, our S-cubed methodology, which we invented. The way it works is it's exactly what it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent keywords, most relevant to what boudoir photography buyers are searching. And when you saturate these on the social media networks, that's kind of like, our small streams or small rivers coming down the backside of the Andes Mountains in South America. And when we do that enough, eventually they all flow together to the Amazon River. That's page one on Google. So kind of all these dominating these high intent keywords on the social networks will eventually flow to us dominating, as many links as we want to acquire on page one on Google for those searches. And also, a special thing about SQ methodology is it's the only strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers that can actually fight back against market saturation, overcome it, and still grow a business in a relatively fast time frame. The only other solution that had previously existed is building a brand, a well-known brand. Dude, that takes like 5 to 10 years. We literally ain't got 5 to 10 years anymore. AI is coming to eat people's, careers, livelihoods, and we gotta get moving. So how's SQ methodology overcome market saturation? So let's say we got 1 million boudoir photographers in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir, and we actually, so we're one of the 1 million. We're like, all right, market is extra saturated here. We need to crank up SQ methodology to the max to actually give ourselves a shot here to keep growing, not simply maintain, but actually continue to grow. So we crank up SQ methodology to the max, and let's say put up the rank like the first 300 slots across all social networks for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in Raleigh. And as a result, that flows onto Google. And let's say we take the first 300 slots as well. So this would be like really ultra maxing it out, which is a very tiny possibility of actually ever happening. And so let's say, and as a result, anytime someone who wants boudoir searches on social or on Google, we're literally the only person they see for the first 300 slots. And Google is 10 slots per page, 10 slots organic search results per page. So literally the first 30 pages on Google is basically only us. And our competitors start showing up, page 31. But we already know approximately 80% of people ain't never even going to page 2. So ain't no one going to page 31 to find our competitors. So as a result, we're basically the only one our boudoir photographer or people who want boudoir can find. And we are, we're getting all the intake. Our business is the one that's still growing because we've taken over all the highest intent search slots. And so a lot of peeps, didn't even know this possibility existed because they had they kind of auto-accepted, implicitly accepted the false belief of page one equality. So that scenario in Raleigh, we're actually still growing the business, and everyone else, every other boudoir photographer is disappearing out of those million, but we are still growing the business and still successfully growing in the midst of massive market saturation. And this happens a lot quicker than brand. But kind of a bonus, long-term benefit is SQ methodology actually is the fastest way to reach a well-known brand. So imagine if you're a well-known brand and you still continue to use SQ methodology, you'll basically be unstoppable. Now, once you're with SQ methodology, we have page one visibility, P1V. And initial benefit of this is we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. And so, initial benefit of SQ methodology, we get more links, but on page one, on Google search. But as a result, every link we take, we're kicking basically a competing boudoir photographer off there, putting them back on page number 2. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page 2. They're page 1 only searches. So we're making them visible to the bulk of the market, approximately 80% of the market that never even reaches page 2. So it's an awesome initial benefit. Second benefit of utilizing SQ methodology. And page 1 visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. Now we do have a recommended minimum, a GBC recommended minimum of hitting 3 out of 10 page 1 links on Google. That's because, if Google's recommends 3 out of 10 times for the highest intent keywords, buyers are subconsciously going to be like, oh, why are they recommending this person so much? Come by the third time I see us. And they may even only click on our links, not even any of our competitors, even though we only have 3 out of 10 because we look so much better, so much larger, so much more recommended than the, basically than everyone else. Also, there's a very, very tiny, rare chance that another boudoir photographer will have 2 slots page 1 on Google. So we dominate them as well. When we got, basically when we got 3. So we dominate all the people that got 0 slots on page 1, or 1 slot on page 1, or 2 slots on page 1. We dominate everyone. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. So this is our entire universe, micro universe here. We got a declining boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, or a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness. It's caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page 1 equality. Thankfully, we now have the solution, thank the universe. S-cubed methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility, we become a visible boudoir photographer, and we achieve boudoir search visibility. So now my results, me using SQT methodology. So I wanted to rank for the term BLCS Boudoir, and I exclusively used SQT methodology to do this. So I started out with 0 out of 10 links on Google page 1. And let's look at how many organic slots I got on Google page 1. I was able to get using SQT methodology. So we got organic slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5, slot 6, slot 7, slot 8, and slot 10. So I literally got 9 out of 10 slots on Google page 1 search with only 10 days of utilizing SQT methodology. So these are the results that I've got for myself. Now, onto the main event here. We're going to see if this boudoir photography business, see if it's got BSS for its local or its city search, see if it's hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 page 1 slots on Google. So let's get into this. We're going to Germantown, Tennessee, and Memphis, Tennessee. All right, see what we got here. We're in Germantown, Tennessee. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, we got 1. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 for local search. Let's go to the city. City is always harder to rank for. There's more people competing. Oh, nice. We got organic slot 1. That's great. We got 1 out of 10. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 here. We got 1 out of 10 for local. We got 1 out of 10 for Memphis. So yeah, we got BSS for both, and we are hitting the GBC Universe recommended minimum. A 3 out of 10. Neither of those searches. So, all right, so if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done your local and city searches already for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you've seen that you have either 0 1 slots for at least one of them, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots for at least one of them. And so you're saying you got BSS boudoir search sameness. You understand that the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. Google actually gives us many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And you're saying SQT methodology is the only method that can get us that many slots in that short of a time frame. And you like the initial benefits, more page 1 slots Google search, and also you really like the other initial benefit, kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1 Google search, effectively putting them on page 2 or deeper, effectively making them invisible to approximately 80% of the marketplace. You think that's pretty cool. And you're thinking ahead, you understand market saturation, yeah, more peeps trickle into the marketplace as they get new gear, yeah. But you're also looking ahead, you're seeing, wow, AI is already taking a bunch of people's jobs, and it's actually going to be taking more and more people's jobs in the future as it gets better and better. So what actually needs to happen is you're actually seeing, wow, actually a much larger wave of boudoir photographers is going to be entering the marketplace over time, up over and above the peeps that are coming because of upgraded gear. And you're realizing you actually need to fortify your position on page 1 Google search, and essentially have so many links that Google can't even rank all your links page 1 on Google search, and now you're starting to stuff page 2, 3, and 4. Basically fortify your position, basically guarantee no current boudoir photographer ever has any chance to rank page 1, and basically guarantee no future boudoir photographer that enters the marketplace after AI takes their job has any chance of sitting on page 1 or ranking on page 1 either. So fortifying your position, basically like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city is below sea level. So got to fortify it against the ocean. And SQT methodology is the only solution to do this, the only path forward to do this, because you also want to achieve page 1 visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer, and have boudoir search visibility, because you need these things on your path to become the #1 boudoir photographer in your city. And you also like the future benefits of utilizing SQT methodology successfully every day, which are we're building up these, initial or invisible thematic keyword columns, kind of like plugged in to our brand, all around our brand, for the specific keywords that we're trying to rank for. And as we do this more and more, we're increasing our repetition, relevance, frequency, authority, and age of all those invisible thematic keyword columns around us, plugged into us. Our name, our business name, our brand names, our social handles, all kind of existing out there on the internet. And you understand every day we increase kind of the power of these, or the frequency of these, or the volume of these, are actually increasing the probability we're ranked up here in the top, recommend AI overview, because we're building this back into AI mindshare with doing all these things. As we grow our AI mindshare through successfully executing SQT methodology every day, also increasing the probability every single day AI search recommends us. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, all comes increased probability to be recommended there from executing the S-cubed methodology successfully every single day. And less, AI search growing every single day, more and more people using it every single day. And AI, last time I used AI to search for boudoir photographers in a city, I was using ChatGPT, and I searched in a city for boudoir photographers, and it gave me 3. And then I went to actually look, how many, kind of a manual search, Google manual and Facebook manual search, and dude, I found like 60. It's like, man, we got to find any way possible to get in one of these 3 AI search slots, and we're seeing SQ methodology provides exactly what the AI wants to see. These invisible thematic keyword columns, all attributed to our brand, increasingly over time. You also like in the future benefit of, we can grow to be a large, well-known brand in our area, and perhaps even larger than our immediate radius, approximately 8x faster than traditional methods. You also like in that my current plan is to work with only one boudoir photographer per city, so you're liking you can get all these benefits and actually prevent all your competitors from getting these benefits at the same time. Actually give you a chance to get your links page 1, build up the back kind of the supply of backlinks that could be on page 1 but are actually stuck on page 2, 3, and 4, and fortify your position, build up your AI mindshare momentum in the back end with all these invisible thematic keyword columns being applied to you and your brand, and just really put a massive gap between you and every other single competitor in your city, or essentially they'll never even be able to catch up. So you're liking all that, and you decide to be a first mover in your city to adopt this technology because you understand the converse scenario, which is if one of your boudoir photographer competitors signs on with me first, they get all those links on page 1, you're getting kicked out to page 2, 3, and 4 and deeper, becoming super invisible, definitely disappearing. Your business is on the path to disappearing. We're fortifying your competitor's position. We're building up their AI mindshare in the back end with their invisible thematic keyword columns that feed into the kind of AI, brain on the internet. And we're building a massive gap between me and your competitor and you. And the only way you could compete, since I can't work with you, is you'd have to rederive SQ methodology on your own. You would then have to, you'd never actually be 100% confident you've rederived it correctly. And then you'd have to execute it successfully every single day. And once you did that, all that would happen is you would be maintaining the current gap me and your competitor have on you, because we're also doing it every single day. And so to gain on us, you would have actually double and triple executing us every single day, which you would probably not feel confident putting in the time into, because again, you would not be 100% confident you've even derived the system, the technology correctly in the first place. And let's say you did all that, you'd have to do, who'd even have 80 hours a day to do all this stuff? So you decide to screw all that. You decide to be the first mover in your city. Don't want to miss out on this opportunity. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. We'll well, our DMs are currently closed, but shoot us that's because the hospital is currently closed for new patient intake. But when we do open our doors, shoot us a DM, and we'll see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.